In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace your outer brake hose on your Kia Soul. It's located behind your rear wheel. When replacing any sort of hydraulic part in your vehicle, you want to press down your brake pedal using a pry bar or a pole of some sort while you're doing the work so that you do not lose all the brake fluid out of your master cylinder and the brake bleed won't be so difficult. I'm going to use a 21mm socket. Take off my rear wheel. I recommend putting locking pliers or something like that to stabilize the line because you don't want to break the metal line that you're loosening. So that'll help you stabilize everything while you crack your line free from the hose. Like that. So you're going to use 11mm line wrench for the fitting. Once you disconnect that, you can take your locking pliers off. Now we're going to take our 11mm socket and loosen our hose at the caliper. Your brake pedal is pressed down with a pry bar to help reduce the amount of fluid you lose, and bleeding the brakes time is lessened also. So we're not going to reuse these washers. The new hose comes with them, but we are going to use the bolt. So you want to take off the washers and compare your new hose to your old hose and make sure everything is the same. Same length, same size. Looks good. On this end, looks like they added a little spring to help. All right, so you want to start this end first. Thread that fitting into the new hose. You don't have to tighten it all the way yet because you want to swivel this around a little. Make sure your hose lines up good. It does. So now you need your bolt and your washers. Again, you're using your new washers. Gonna make a hose sandwich. Put a washer on the bolt, put a washer on the other end, feed the bolt through. Line up your bolt. Tighten it by hand a little bit. Make sure your notch is lined up so that the hose can go down. All right, just check your work, make sure everything's connected where it belongs. And you can snug that hose down. You want to snug those washers a little bit and do an extra half a turn. Now you can tighten up your line with an 11mm line wrench. I'm I'm going to grab my locking pliers again, just to keep that stable. And tighten up that line. All right, so now we're going to take our pry bar off the brake and do a gravity bleed. All right, so we're going to check our reservoir, master cylinder, make sure it has enough. This vehicle takes dot 3 or 4. I'm going to fill it up to max. We're going to put our cap back on. And then we're going to go do a gravity bleed. All right, we are going to take our bleeder cap off. Now we're going to use a 10mm line wrench. We are going to crack open that bleeder. And we're going to wait until we see fluid come out. Initially, there'll be some air bubbles, most likely. Once the air bubbles are gone, we can close it down, and that's a gravity bleed. It takes a minute. So be patient. I gotta let it run out for a minute. Doesn't look like there's any air in there, so we are gonna close it down. And at this point, we can check our master cylinder, make sure it's full, and check our brake pedal. If it's squishy, you're going to have to go ahead and do a full brake bleed on the system. If it feels good, nice on the top, firm, take it for a test drive. Don't forget to put your cap back on. Got to put a wheel back on, get a lug nut started. And use a 21mm socket. Start at the bottom, lock the wheel on, and a star-like pattern, you're going to be tightening them down. We're going to be torquing these later. All right, now the wheel's on the ground, we can torque it to 80 foot-pounds with a 21mm socket. You're going to do this in a star-like pattern, and then you're going to check it one more time after. All right, now you can take a deep breath because this job is done. You can take it for a road test. We're going to follow the brake sequence. It's right rear first, then to the front left, and then to the left rear, and then to the front right. You're going to take off your bleeder cap, set that off to the side. You're going to use a 10mm wrench. Crack open that. Make sure that bleeder opens. You're going to use this hose. You want to catch the fluid somehow. So you can use something like this or a pan below. And then you're going to have a partner in the vehicle and you're going to ask them to pump the brakes. And then you're going to ask them to hold. And when they hold, you're going to open the bleeder. that to the floor.
It's on the floor, down.
Then you're going to close the bleeder. Pump it up, please.
Holding.
Holding, and then I open the bleeder. That's to the floor. Close the bleeder. And do one more. Pump it up.
Holding.
And open the bleeder. That's to the floor. And then close the bleeder. You're going to close that bleeder down. Replace your cap. Let's clean our area and move on to the next wheel. All right, so now you're going to take your cap off the bleeder, run this one, place your hose on, and do the same thing you just did. So pump it up, please.
Holding.
And you're going to close it. Pump it up, please.
Holding.
Close it. Do one more.
Holding.
All looks good. You're going to close that down. Going to put your cap back on. Going to clean our area. And then you're going to check your master cylinder and add fluid. So now we're going to top off our fluids. Make sure it goes to the max. Our cap back on. After topping off your fluid, repeat the bleed process on the next two wheels, the left rear and the right front. And now we're ready to go back up top and check our fluid in our master cylinder, make sure it's topped off, goes to the max. Our cap back on. All right, now that you've checked your level on your master cylinder, you're going to get in your vehicle and you're going to check your brake pedal. If your brake pedal feels a little spongy, you might have to bleed your brakes again. If it feels hard and it's right at the top, then you're good to go and you should take it for a test drive.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.